For many people like Skip Curtis, Route 66 evokes a sense of nostalgia.
Well, I grew up in Springfield. My parents would drive us up, the whole family would drive up Old 66 to St. Louis to Sportsman's Park to watch the Cardinals play. We were avid Cardinal fans, and so we'd go up a couple times a year, and of course the only way to get to St. Louis then was on Route 66.
Curtis is a historian with Missouri's Route 66 Association, a group that's busy this year because it's the 75th anniversary of Route 66, and it's drawing international attention. Just recently, a French journalist, Marie-Helene Fraisse, passed through Springfield. She's working on a series of reports on Route 66. They'll air on Radio France this summer. She says for Europeans, Route 66 represents an image of America that goes back to an earlier time.
It's a kind of America we like. Very friendly people, small towns and old cafes, and everything is so relaxed, you see. America today maybe has become a little bit too much into money making and .coms and, sort of expanding all over the world and enforcing a certain way of life. And you find the contrary on Route 66. You find America, successful America, but still having time for a good Coke along the road and a good chat with someone who's passing, and welcoming, not always obsessed by money making. And so that's what you find along Route 66.
Fraisse will include a segment on Springfield in her radio reports, since the city has the distinction of being the birthplace of Route 66. Curtis explains how Springfield came to be known as the birthplace of the famous road.
In the spring before they commissioned Route 66 that fall, there was a meeting held in Springfield. They were still trying to determine what the road was going to be called. They knew where the road was going to go, and it'd be part of the national highway system, but they didn't know if it was going to be called 60 or 62 or what the number was going to be. That numbering system had just come out the year before. Before that, everything was called certain trails, the Lincoln Highway or something like that. And so there was a meeting held in Springfield between the Missouri and the Oklahoma people. They decided that instead of fighting the Eastern interest on 60 or 62 or whatever, they noticed that 66 was not taken, so they sent a telegram to Washington from Springfield saying that we'd like the number 66. So ever since then, they've considered that this was the birthplace. This is where they invented the double sixes.
Later this year, anniversary celebrations will take place in Springfield, St. Louis, and elsewhere along the road. Fraisse says she wants to give her French audience an opportunity to learn more about Route 66. She says the best part is telling her audience about towns like Springfield.
Springfield, for instance, is a kind of town, I must say, maybe I shouldn't say that, but it's not the kind of town that people would go to, because when they're French, they go first to New York and then San Francisco, and maybe they try the Southwest and then maybe Chicago because it's culture. But maybe they could come to Springfield if they are very much in love with traditional music or outdoors. And when you do Route 66, so you discover places that you wouldn't imagine to go to before.
It's the people in the towns along Route 66 that made the road so famous. Curtis says people remember the families who ran stores and hotels along the road.
66 is all about the people. The nostalgia is there. If it was just about driving through the Grand Canyon or something, that's not very nostalgic. But then when you start reading stories about the family and the people, and how nice they were, how helpful they were, if any traveler that had a problem, they would just bend over backwards to help them and everything. And so people are hearing those stories now, and they say, well, I'd like to get out there and look at that road, and see what it used to be like.
If you want to get your kicks on Route 66, you don't have to go far. Route 66 ran through downtown Springfield around the square on St. Louis Street.
Get out and check out the old road. Take your time, and just enjoy the pace. Get off that fast lane.
If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66.